Hi, welcome back to another tutorial video for Play Action Football. This is a new tabletop football game from the Clark & Addison Gaming Company. In this video, we're going to cover head-to-head play. Now, most gamers are probably going to play this game solo, but you don't have to make any changes to the game engine or anything else to play the game head-to-head. There are a couple of differences, but mostly just in the mechanics of every play, as opposed to changing the entire game engine. It's all based off of the same game engine. So normally, whenever you call a play in solo mode, you're going to use the solo auto play calling charts here. So you have your offense and you have your defense, and then based on which of those comes up, you have some sort of defensive effect on the play, whether it's positive in favor of the offense or negative, which is in favor of the defense. For head-to-head play, instead of using that chart, you have these offensive and defensive cards. Now you can see that these correspond, green and red, to the momentum card. So you have green for the offense, red for the defense. And those are just sort of colors that are going to come back for offense and defense in the game. Even here, to some extent, green is good for the offense, red is going to be good for the defense. So those colors are going to come back in the game throughout. So if you forget, they're clearly labeled, they're clearly color-coded. And what you'll do is you'll get, it's 2 full sheets plus a little bit. And then each gamer, so each team is going to have their own set of offense and defensive cards. So all of these would be for one gamer, for one team. And so each team is going to have a full complement of cards. And we'll talk about some variations on that as well. This is a little bit of a free-form area. I haven't actually played the game head-to-head, but I know that the game doesn't change when you play it head-to-head. You'll just have to figure out splitting up the duties maybe a little bit more. This isn't a game where the defense doesn't do anything. So normally you're going to play, I like to play with a D10 and a D6 color coded. You could do that, or each person could have their own dice. But normally I would roll all 4 of these together. But if you're playing head to head, maybe the offense is rolling 1 and the defense is rolling 1 set. And so each of you is sort of in the game. And the way you would use these cards is you would kind of have them where no one could see what you were choosing. And you would choose your play, lay your card down face down, and you would each person on either side of the table would lay your card face down. And then at the moment, whenever both players have picked their play, then you're able to flip your card over, and now you see what the play is, so that you're basically simulating this top part here. You're simulating, instead of the dice choosing the play, each player is choosing the play. And there's some really fun, I think there can be some really fun sort of zigging and zag. I'm going to zig when he zags, and trying to outcoach each other, outsmart each other, maybe set up tendencies, and then at the key moment you don't do that tendency, and then bam, you hit them with a big play, that kind of thing. But this play calling selection and process is about creating advantage or disadvantage. So where we have our defensive effects down here, when you're doing auto play calling, you can manually call plays too. So maybe you just want to roll for what the defense is doing, but you want to call all the offensive players or vice versa. You can do that, and these are all static numbers that are going to stay. And so you can sort of, is the other team running a 3-4 base defense? I know that I'm going to have an opportunity to throw the ball. It's going to be harder to run it up the middle, but it's going to be easier to do some other things. And so there's advantage and disadvantage against each defense. A 3-4 is easy to run up the middle, but difficult to throw medium passes on, medium and short passes on. That's sort of into the teeth of the 3-4 defense. So you're going to be able to see what are the advantages of each type of play and be able to craft your strategy toward that. With the auto calling, it's a little bit more straightforward. Playing against a person, though, it's a real wild card, because what are they going to choose? Are they going to blitz? Are they going to not blitz? Are they going to all of a sudden on 3rd and 3, are they going to run a prevent defense because they know that I like to throw the ball medium pass on 3rd and 3, and that's really going to put me in a bind? There's a lot of different things that you can do to be more unconventional whenever you're playing against a person. So if you've ever played against a person and you both have to choose and kind of outguess each other, you know that can be fun, but also very difficult and very challenging. So I think playing head to head adds a whole layer to this game that I haven't even touched, really, because I haven't played the game head to head with anyone. And so I'm telling you these things for you to try it out. Just try it out, playing head to head with someone that you know, play online, whatever it is. You can see that each of these cards has exactly what's written here. So an inside run against a 4-3, regular defense is a -1. Against a blitz, it's a -2. Well, we have a little bit of a discrepancy here. Outside run against a 3-4. These must be old numbers, but I have a +1 and a 0. Yeah, I think some of these numbers are outdated. Had to get those changed. But playing these head to head is a real interesting procedure, because then you're looking and you're trying to decide, what do I want to run? It's 1st and 10. Do I want to run a nickel? I can see how each of the different plays affects a nickel defense. And maybe you don't want to run a nickel until you are sure that they're going to be throwing something deeper down the field. Or maybe you want to try to catch them. They're going to try to throw a medium pass and slip one past you because you've been running your base defense the whole time. And so you're going to switch it up, play that nickel defense, and maybe get yourself an advantage. So this is really the coaching side of the game. And then after that, the dice are ultimately deciding the play outcome, but you can help to tip that one way or the other with the head-to-head side. And then you'll just have to decide how to divvy up the responsibilities. Is somebody keeping score? Are we each keeping our own score? How are you doing those things? But each offense and defensive player has their own ability to do those different things. So maybe you want to play 2-on-2, where one person does the offense and one does the defense. And then now you've got kind of a 2-on-2 situation where you have an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and you each just kind of call your own plays. One fun and interesting variation on this that I thought of would be to limit yourself. I don't think you should limit offensive plays, but on defense, you can limit yourself to only the plays for your base. So let's say your team runs a 4-3 base defense. You would have the 4-3 and the blitz. And then you would have a nickel, dime, and prevent. And maybe you can limit yourself to that, because then, most teams are not going to flip-flop between running a 4-6 and a 4-3 and maybe a 4-6 and a 4-3, but they're not going to all of a sudden go to a 3-4 defense in the middle of a game or from one player to another. They're going to run a base defense. And so if you want to just sort of kind of eliminate some of those cards just for the sake of realism, that type of thing, or if you just want to tell each player you only get 6 cards, so you're going to have to choose, and that would mean leaving out 1 offensive play, and that would mean leaving out 5 defensive plays. So now you have to choose a game plan, and you got to say, okay, looking at this other team's card, they're really good at something. Maybe they're really proficient at pass completion percentage, but they throw the ball shorter, they don't throw it long. So I'm going to craft my defensive game plan toward that. so that I can attack that strength of their team and maybe try to neutralize that a little bit. So I think there's some real kind of fun and cool ways that you could homebrew some rules for playing head to head. I don't have any of those hard and fast in the game, but I did want to talk about it and maybe see what gamers will come up with this type of head to head play.